How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to talk about fancy tools I would buy again. Please excuse the baby carrier. I cannot put him down or else he starts crying. So he's going to be attached to the front of me for the duration of this video. Guys like to collect tools like how girls like to collect shoes and handbags. Tools is something that I use day to day. There's just so much utility. Sometimes I need to fix things around the house. Sometimes I use the tools to fix a car. There's just many uses for tools in general. I bought quite a bit of new tools over the past few years, and I just collected some of my favorites over here, some not so favorites towards on the right side. Using some of these tools makes the job so much easier when things just work and you're not stripping any bolts or screws. It just comes right off with the proper tool. And sometimes with the improper tool, it'll take you much longer to loosen a bolt or a screw. None of these products are sponsored, by the way. I bought all of these myself, but you can go in the video description down below and click on my affiliate links and I'll get a commission. First, I want to talk about this Wiha screwdriver set. This is what it's replacing: a cheap 99-cent Phillips screwdriver and a cheap flathead screwdriver. So of course there are still uses for this. You just want to grab a screwdriver and it has its own handle, so you don't have to fiddle with this stuff inserting it into the handle. But when you use these long bits, you only have one handle, so it saves you a lot of space and weight. There are many screwdrivers out there where it would have little bit tips, right? The reason you want these long ones is sometimes there are screw holes that are very narrow, so you need a very narrow screwdriver, just like this one right here. It can go right in and unscrew things for you. This is a fancy brand, Wiha. It's quite expensive, $33 just for this handle as of 2026 June, but it's very precise. You push this into the bit holder, you push it back in place, and this gets locked. Look at the play in this. There's almost no play. You have to buy these blades separately. There's a 4-piece Phillips set and then a 5-piece blade set. And then you hold all this together with a PB Swiss bit block. It just holds the blades. You don't have to have this, but it's kind of nice. It's all together like this. Next is this Knipex plier wrench. Those adjustable wrenches? The way you use them is you adjust them to the right width for the bolt. You go and put it in and then you twist, and then you gotta take it out and then go and reinsert it into that bolt. Sometimes you have to adjust that monkey wrench again because you want it to be tight, and then you twist. So you keep on doing that. But this one, look at the action. You open this clamp, you put it on, squeeze it, and then turn. Open it, turn it back, squeeze it, and then turn. So this makes it a lot faster when you're untightening those bolts. Once I got this, I basically do not use those adjustable wrenches anymore, although I got some nice ones. And then more Knipex pliers. This is a twin grip plier, which allows you to grip onto a screw. The tip here has like a little notch so that you can go straight down and grip onto a screw and then turn it as needed. Sometimes things are angled a certain way and you need this one. Other times is just straight head on and you need this one. Milwaukee chisel type thing, but it's not quite very sharp at the end. It's almost like a really large screwdriver. Sometimes you have these little caps that are really wide and you need a really big screwdriver. Well, you can use this to open those things up, or you use a coin, right? But this is special because in the end there is a metal back. Many times people like to use a screwdriver, a flathead like this, and then chisel stuff with it, right? Hit the back. And the back of this is made of plastic, so if you hit it too hard, the back over here is gonna chip. You need something like this so that it's purpose built for it. It's made from metal from the end here, metal cap, and it goes all the way down. I find this really useful. It's just something I got at Home Depot. Klein screwdrivers. The nice thing about these is at the end, if you have a lot of these screwdrivers, it's marked. It says Phillips 4, flathead 4, and the tips are very well made. They're precision. Sometimes when the screw is really tough to remove, if the mating of the tip is not very good, it tends to slip. That's the cam out, and that strips a screw. Once the screw is stripped, you're screwed. You need to go through all this screw removal tool and stuff, and you might not even have that. So having a fresh set of screwdrivers, especially if you wear these down even, you should replace them, and that would make your everyday use of the screwdriver and the flathead a lot better, not having cam outs. I like this cheap DeWalt flipping utility knife. Push it, flick it open, like that. It's just a box cutter. I open boxes with it. You can pull this, take out the blade, put it back in. Unfortunately, you cannot put a blade inside the handle. There's no blade in here. So that's all it is. And you'll notice it just kind of swings very loosely, so you can flip it open very easily. It's very fluid. I've tried 2 or 3 other ones before and it just doesn't swing out as nicely. Have you guys ever heard of mechanical pencils that automatically rotates the lead as you're writing so that it keeps sharp as you're writing? It never dulls out. Kurotoga does that. You have this very, very cheap version, which is $5. I think it's really cool because you can see the mechanism work. As you push it, there's like a little drum that just keeps on going up and down, and there's like a mechanical thing in there that keeps on twisting the lead inside. Same thing with this one, but this is a little bit weighted. There's a tube outside that's made of aluminum that kind of makes things a little bit heavier, front heavy. It's a little bit more balanced, but this is twice as much at $10 roughly. And I just find these kind of nice to have. Once you use these, you'll be like, hey, why was I using the ones before? If you just keep on writing with a lead that does not rotate, it gets ground down, and at an angle, the width of your writing becomes bigger and bigger. You could rotate it with your hands as you're writing, but that's kind of annoying. So this you don't have to. And I find it just very, very nice every day to use. And if you use a mechanical pencil, I would go with the cheaper one. Here is something I did not know exists until like a month ago, which is a Teflon coated pair of scissors. It has this nice big handle similar to my other pair. This is also a Fiskars. Now they sell Japanese versions of these and they're very, very expensive. So I found the Fiskars brand. The black indicates that it's Teflon coated. Over the years, I find myself cutting tape once in a while. And once you cut enough of it, a lot of gunk builds up. Then I have to end up using WD-40, using a thick paper to try to wipe it. And one time I even like pushed too hard and it cut through the paper I was wiping with this and it cut my fingers. So if you are gonna cut any kind of tape, I would switch to this Teflon coated one. This is a lifesaver. Every time I cut tape, I use this now and my regular pair does not get gunked up. No more cleaning necessary. Although you might have 2 pairs of scissors, you could technically just toss the old one because, you know, the Teflon one you can just use as regular as well. So if you have a need for a new pair of scissors, I would definitely just get the Teflon coated one. This is the Wera ratchet set. A lot of influencers are saying, oh yeah, this is great and all. It's quite expensive, $120 right now for this thing. So I bought it. I'm like, hey, I like nice tools. These little socket things, you have to twist it and then it comes off. You twist it to put it back in. There's a lot of little bits over here that you can take out and use. There are hexes, Torx, Phillips, but no flathead for some reason. There is a long extension, a socket adapter to hold on to these bits, a kind of like an extension that can go at a slight angle. And the problem I have with this whole set that does not fit perfectly well with me is that these bits are not the thin, narrow bits like before, right? Like these kind right here, these would be great. After 10 years, this elastic band is not going to be elastic anymore. So I tend to not like these type of bands for tools in particular, because tools are supposed to last years and years and years. I find the changing in of sockets a little bit cumbersome. The twisting of this is nice, right? It comes off. But when you put it on, you have to use 2 hands. You got to push the back button here to loosen it, put it on, and then let it go, and they'll be locked in place. It's nice that it locks because sometimes you don't want to be trying to unscrew stuff and the little socket comes loose. So you can either push this and it can be vertical and it can go at different angles as well, and ratcheting. Sometimes when it's vertical like this, I found that, hey, I can't take out the socket. You have to open this way, push the button, take it out, put in a new socket, and then, you know, then you're on your way. So it's a little bit cumbersome. There's a little slip sleeve over here so that as you're turning, you can hold on to this and kind of turn it this way like that. The sockets here is imperial, so you don't get imperial and metric. You gotta buy a separate thing with like a little Velcro strap like this. And this one also kind of twists off in order to lock them in place. If you look at each one, they look very fine. They're very nice. But I don't know, I think something better could be done in terms of speed of use. It's not the fastest to switch the tools. You also have these fancy Wera hex wrenches, which are Imperial, and I got a metric over here. They are very heavy. They're extra long, and I doubt I'm ever gonna use the largest 3 over here. They're nice in that you can push this upwards. It folds open for easy access. You pull this out. Each one has their own color-coded sleeve and says what size they are. The end has a ball joint so that when you go in there to open, it can tilt a little bit and you can still open those hex bolts. I still use my old set. I haven't had the absolute need for this extra long hex wrench for the extra leverage just yet. These last 2 things is just kind of nice to have. They're pricey, not a complete home run to me. What I really like is this, the Superman's fingernail. It basically is like that. See, it looks like a fingernail, either this side or this side. A very tough, thin and narrow piece of steel so you can wedge it in something and pry. Sometimes I would use my fingernail and use a little bit too much force and pull my fingernail out, and that hurts a lot. It has been a pleasure to use. It looks nice and it has a lot of strength. You can pull really hard on this and it won't bend. So that's it for these tools. I'm gonna list all of these in their chronological order in the way I talked about them in the video down in the video description below. If you guys want to get any of these for yourself, they are affiliate links. If you click on them and buy them, I will get a commission from them, and thank you very much for that. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.